Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odidi-Ochi, and now the details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with service chiefs and Inspector General of Police. Musbah Dan Wahab reports that the meeting at the State House was the first on this critical sector between the new president and the heads of security agencies led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo.
Rise for Mr. President.
Day 3 for President Bola Tinubu in office since inauguration. It is time for briefing and debriefing on another critical sector, security. And so, the service chiefs, as well as the Inspector General of Police, will brief the new Commander-in-Chief on his #1 item on the Renewed Hope Manifesto. Mr. President believed warm handshakes would be good enough to commence the very first meeting, apparently aimed at consolidating efforts on this sector and perhaps infusion of some new ideas for a lasting solution. And after about 2 hours of an indoor meeting, some new hope emerged.
Well, the expectation of Nigerians is that security will be improved upon. And of course, the mandate, the direction which Mr. President has given is anchored on that. And that's what we will be working on to see that we strengthen the existing security situation and for Nigerians to have better environment where they can undertake their undertakings every day. So this is precisely what we've gone out from Mr. President. The mandate is given, which we're going to work on going forward.
There is also a new impetus and philosophy in sight to drive the hope.
The President has revealed that in moving this country forward, he needs the security agencies to redouble their efforts. And he's also pointed out that his own philosophy is one of contemporary security measures dealing with the requirements of the time.
And very important to the Commander-in-Chief is that national security has to be coordinated with one purpose of securing the nation.
He has made it very, very clear that all the security agencies must comply with the demands of coordination, with the demands of frequent consultations, and also timely reports which must be acted on. He's going to embark on a lot of reforms in terms of our security architecture. He's going to take a closer look at our misfortunes in the maritime domain, focusing particularly on the issues of oil theft.
Mr. President had clearly stated in his manifesto that national security is the bedrock of a prosperous and democratic society, with emphasis on fighting terrorism, banditry, kidnapping and violent agitation. And Nigerians are certainly yearning for a greater improvement in this regard. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
5 world forensics laboratories that will aid the fight against corruption, illicit financial flows and other forms of criminality are to be established in Nigeria. The President and Chairman, Chartered Institute of Forensics and Certified Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Ilya Gashinbaki, made this known at the direct membership graduation and membership award ceremony in Abuja. He tasked the members to take full responsibility for the fight against corruption in the country. That's what they get. Anti-Corruption Hall of Fame preserved for Nigerians with exceptional integrity inducted the Senate Deputy Majority Leader and the Chairman, House Committee on Foreign Affairs. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, has met with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. A statement by the head of media and Publicity of the Commission says the meeting is the EFCC chairman's first official engagement with the president. The meeting is to afford the anti-graft XAR the opportunity to brief the president on state of the fight against corruption and his recent visit to Saudi Arabia, where he signed a memorandum of understanding with the Oversight and Anti-Corruption Authority of Saudi Arabia in a bid to strengthen international partnerships to address the challenges posed by corruption. A meeting between the organized labor unions and representatives of the federal government to avert a looming agitation on the upward review of petrol price has ended in a deadlock. Musbah Dan Wahab reports that the meeting held at the State House, Abuja.
Removal of fuel subsidy in the deregulation era is an issue that has endured over a decade in the country. Successive administrations have declared continuation of the subsidy payment unrealistic with its negative effects on the nation's economy. But staying true to his campaign promises, President Bola Tinubu, in his inauguration speech, believed there is no need postponing the evil days.
Subsidy can no longer justify its ever-increasing cost and the wake of dry resources.
Following the pronouncement is an upward review of the petrol price by NNPC Limited just 2 days later. The effect of a review on Nigerians and a looming reaction from the organized labor unions necessitated an emergency meeting. And rising from the meeting lasting about 3 hours, representatives of the labor and that of the federal government were not smiling.
The president called for a meeting of government and the labor, and you have seen the labor union, the president of the NLC, the president of TUC, and all their executive members are here. And we've been deliberating on finding very, very amicable resolution to the issue at hand, to the queue and all of that, and the increase in pump price. And we had a very robust engagement. The impact on the poorest of the poor in the society would be very minimal. That's part of the talks that are going on between government and labor.
The prayers of NLC is that we go back to status quo, negotiate, think of alternatives and all the effects and how to manage the effects this action is going to have on the people, if it is an action that must take off.
And so this appears to just be the beginning of the dialogue between the organized labor unions and the representatives of the federal government. And so the parties have agreed to reconvene again in just a matter of hours. From the State House, Musbah Dan Wahab, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has, for the second time this week, supported the federal government on subsidy removal. This time it went a step further by suggesting outright removal of subsidy on all petroleum products. This is as recommended by the House Ad Hoc Committee set up in June 2022 to investigate the petroleum product subsidy regime in Nigeria from 2013 to 2022. The committee equally highlighted the need for the federal government to immediately design measures and palliatives such as provision of alternative and cheaper means of transport across the country. Also approved in the 11-point recommendation is the provision of a representative from the Nigerian Navy for all agencies involved in lifting of crude to enable physical assessment and documentation of daily crude production and lifting. The House wants all provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act to be carried out to the letter. The queues for premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, cleared suddenly in most parts of Abuja, as motorists and passengers seem now to be at terms with the new realities. Frama Pani reports.
The long snake-like queues and the usual panic buying and chaos at fueling stations are now disappearing. This follows the pump price review. The situation on ground is that petrol products are now more available and the long line of cars have left the streets of Abuja. From NNPC fueling station to corn oil, it's an atmosphere of calm as motorists appeal to government for palliative.
You can see that the queue has dissipated. We came here and we bought the fuel at 537 naira. You get, so what it means is that there's no longer free meal to the people that are holding the fuel or to the importers that are bringing in the fuel into the country. There's no longer free meal. We're already facing reality.
The thing is, we should be able to know why these subsidies are removed. If you know, you won't blame President Tinubu. It has been there and it is putting hold on the country's coffers. It's putting hold on the purse of Nigeria. So it is better it is done now.
Passenger no enter motor because they no get money to enter. And how much would they buy the fuel, how much would they carry the passenger? So I bet made the airports beg federal government, made them do something about the matter. God will bless Nigeria.
Others are optimistic that this latest move to remove subsidy will address critical problems. In Abuja, from Apanyi, NTA.
National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress and the Progressive Governors have agreed to work out urgent palliatives to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal. During a meeting at the party's headquarters in Abuja, the governors pledged to be constructive partners towards nation building. Saliu Gwanara reports.
First interactive session after the general elections with the progressive governors led by its newly appointed chairman, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. As the governors prepares for governance, national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Adamu, reminded them to pay attention to priority areas in line with the party's manifesto and promise made to the electorate.
You live with the people, you wake up with the people, and you work with them. The expectation is that you will have a better appreciation of their pulse points as citizens of this country. So a lot of expectations will be with you as governors of the federative units of this great country.
At the end of a closed-door engagement that lasted about 1 hour, chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum addressed the media.
On the issue of fuel subsidy, all the presidential candidates during the campaign all promised that they would remove fuel subsidy. The incumbent government, before he left, made us to know that fuel subsidy is no longer sustainable. What we are talking about now is implementation process, how to implement the program in a manner that it will not be too hard on the people. And I think the government is working on it. I have confidence on the ability of the president, the current president, to navigate through the waters and take decisions that will be to the best interest of our people.
The progressive governors promised to be ambassadors of the renewed hope, which share same vision and desire to serve the people. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it has not devalued the naira as published in a news report by Daily Trust newspaper of June 1st, 2023, titled, CBN devalues naira to 630 naira to $1. A statement by Isa Abdulmumin, acting director, corporate communications of the Apex Bank, described the publication as outright falsehood. The statement added that for the avoidance of doubt, the exchange rate at the investors and exporters window traded Thursday morning, June 1st, 2023, at 465 naira to $1 and has been stable around this rate for a while. The public is hereby advised to ignore the news report in its entirety, as it is speculative and calculated at causing panic in the market. Lagos is next with Hingino with an update on removal of fuel subsidy. It's over to you, Hingino.
Thank you, Lydia. Recognizing and accepting the inevitability of the subsidy removal, Nigerians have urged government at all levels to swing into action while devising means to lessen the effect on the people. This is their reaction as they queue to buy fuel at different stations across Lagos metropolis. Lanre Bilei has the report.
Most fuel filling stations in Lagos have started selling the products to motorists at a price that reflects the subsidy removal market dictates. While few filling stations are yet to open up for business, others sells at 419 naira and 488 naira per litre. Motorists revealed that since subsidizing fuel can no longer be sustained by the government, then its removal is inevitable.
But for me, to remove this subsidy is okay. They need to remove it. But it's a main time. This is just a main time. I believe that.
The price has increased. Yes, I am not against the subsidy remover because we know how many billions of naira is going into subsidy every month. But let the fuel be available to people to get.
They call on the government to ensure that its effect on the economy is cushioned. The motorists, however, are not pleased with the way some fuel filling stations are operating since the price got affected.
I would say most of us take advantage of situations, but then in this case, I understand because as a businessman, it's the law of demand and supply. I would not buy for 180 to sell for 185, for example, and then I know I can sell for 500 tomorrow, and I'll sell for 185, then borrow money to buy stock to sell for 500. I understand their plight, but then I just feel they should just sell and let us live.
Apart from what my respondent, Mr. Solomon, talked about, another reason why there are a lot of queues in some filling stations is that they are looking for stations that sells at a decent price and stations that have pumping machines that pump accurate liters into their cars. In Lagos, Lanre Beleyi, NTA News.
A mobile phone used by the deceased students of Christland School, Whitney Adeniran, has been provided and tendered before Justice Oyindamola Ogala of the Federal High Court, Lagos. Amaka Owo reports on this and other court proceedings held in Lagos.
At the resumed hearing, the third defense counsel, Olukayode Enitan, continued with his cross-examination. He aligned with the court ruling that the phone of the deceased be tendered before the court and password provided. Justice Oyindamola Ogala overruled the objection from the prosecution counsel and director of public prosecution, Lagos State Babajide Martins, request against the defense counsel, stating that the exhibit be admitted. Justice Ogala, who is in custody of the phone, told the court that access to the phone by the defense counsels will be restricted to the Snapchat discussions. The case has been adjourned to the 8th of June 2023. In another development, the case involving Lagos State versus Dr. Olufemi Olaleye was heard simultaneously at the Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court, Lagos, where one Olushola Oluwatoyi from a commercial bank appeared before the court and presented a bank document indicating that the defendant, Dr. Olufemi Olaleye, was removed as signatory to a joint account with his spouse. Justice Ramoni Oshodi admitted the documents. Efforts to get the bank official cross-examined by the prosecution counsel, Babajide Boye, was opposed by the defense counsel, Olusegun Fabumi. The prosecution counsel requested that the bank official be recalled. This, the judge said, must be done with formal application within 7 days. The case was adjourned till the 29th of September for final adoption of written address. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Obehi in Benin is standing by for more reports on Nationwide after this break.
Nationwide continues in Abuja. We hope to join Benin in the course of the bulletin. Now let's go back to our story on forensics laboratories. 5 world forensic laboratories that will aid the fight against corruption, illicit financial flows and other forms of criminality are to be established in Nigeria. The President and Chairman, Chartered Institute of Forensics and Certified Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Ilya Gashinbaki, made this known at the Direct Membership Graduation and Membership Award ceremony in Abuja. He tasked the members to take full responsibility for the fight against corruption in the country.
There are a lot of issues that needs forensic review in Nigeria. We need to do proper forensic and policy audit of all the revenue generating agencies in this country. to know where the leakages are, know what is due to government and what has been lost.
Nigeria has been suffering from what I call the cancer that has been eating deep into our economy and has been bastardizing the great nation that God has blessed with almost everything, and that is corruption. And you know, this institute will help a great deal in fighting corruption in our land.
An anti-corruption hall of fame preserved for Nigerians with exceptional integrity inducted the Senate Deputy Majority Leader and the Chairman House Committee on Foreign Affairs. The Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, NTA, has received an award as the best aviation training institute in the world at the ongoing International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO Symposium in South Korea. A statement by the head of press and public affairs of the Ministry of Aviation, Odutayo Oluseyi, says the symposium is organized by ICAO in collaboration with the Korean Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, with the aim of providing opportunity for aviation experts to brainstorm. Receiving the award, Director of the College, Captain Alkali, and Director of Air Transportation of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace, Hassan Eji Bonu, says the award is a further testimony of the positive development in the aviation industry in Nigeria. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has cleared the air over what it described as a technical hitch necessitating forced landing of the air carrier conveying Jigawa state pilgrims to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj. A statement by Assistant Director of Public Affairs of the Commission, Fatima Sanda Usara, says the hitch was caused by uncontrollable turbulence as a result of heavy rainfall, forcing the aircraft to land temporarily at the Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. The statement quotes Chairman of the Commission, Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, assuring Nigerian pilgrims that nothing will hinder the smooth operation as all necessary arrangements against unnecessary delays have been provided. More than 14,000 Nigerian pilgrims have been airlifted for the holy pilgrimage. Nasarawa, Benue, and Plateau states have completed airlift exercise, and the pilgrims are already in the holy city of Medina. 5 air carriers have been engaged for this year's Hajj. We now go over to Kaduna Network Center, where Salamatu is standing by. Hello, Salamatu.
Technology-driven businesses. Thank you, Lydia, and glad to have you join us here in Kaduna. Meteorologists have predicted flooding during this year's rainy season in 5 local government areas in southern Kaduna senatorial zone. The prediction was presented to stakeholders at a one-day meeting on flood assessment. Jamila Abubakar reported that the Executive Secretary, Kaduna State Emergency Management Agency, says the local government are Sanga, Jama'a, Kagarko, Kaura, and Jaba.
Worried by the 2023 seasonal climate prediction for some states in Nigeria, including Kaduna, the State Emergency Management Agency has called for early preparation to mitigate the coming disaster. In a strategic meeting, the Katsima Executive Secretary Mohammed Muazu Mukada said the 2023 flood disaster and its associated hazards is a wake-up call for emergency responders, development agencies and partners to work assiduously to avert a repeat of the incident. He noted that many of the affected communities are yet to recover from the impact of the devastating flood. Other partners applauded the agency for developing a clear and practical early warning system that will enable partners and the public to match it with action to avert loss of lives. While on assessment visit at Angwanrumi that has been witnessing flood, residents of the area promised to abide by the climate disaster preparedness and mitigation strategy that is handed down to them. Stakeholders are assured of not resting until citizens are conscious of their duty in the management of the environment.
For a number of years, and the situation keeps, deteriorating because of
the flooding year in, year out. We are also going to find out who is legally settled here, so that there is possibility that we can move them out of this place. 5,000 households that were affected by the 2022 flood were assisted by the state government in partnership with UNICEF. In Kaduna, Jamila Abubakar, NTA News.
A training and mentoring program held in Kano for selected youths from the Northwest on sustainable and investable technology-driven businesses is yielding positive results of reshaping the destiny of the trainees. Yohannes Hassan reports that among them, one is selected to pitch his idea in Morocco.
Unlocking the full potentials of northern Nigeria's entrepreneurs to propel their contributions to the development of sustainable solutions through mentorship is the rationale behind this gathering. The youth who have undergone 6 months training on investable technology are here to pitch their ideas. Imran Lawan has opted to develop a portable point-of-sale POS device. This innovative ingenuity has qualified him to participate in an advanced competition in Morocco.
The POS raised from 20,000 naira to at least 50-something thousand naira. So no small medium businesses cannot buy POS. So I tried to come with something small that can work like a POS or even better than POS.
A lot of people suffering from depression are not being able to, kind of discuss it with their family members. Just create an application you can easily download, sign up, then pay your consultation fee, then you can get your mental health consultation from any of our therapists available.
Just like him, many of the selected youth started idealizing from the scratch.
Now you can see they have come up with amazing solutions, from mental health solution using technology to fintech solutions to e-commerce platforms that leverages on AI and all that. So this is really impressive.
From job seekers, they are now expected to be employers of labor with support from the National Information Technology Development Agency. In Kano, Yohannes Hassan, NTA News.
And that completes our package from Kaduna. Another break beckons, and thereafter we'll rejoin Lydia in Abuja. And Lydia.
Nigeria means a lot to me.
And Nigeria means peaceful cohesion.
My country.
We continue to pray, and then hopefully we will come to understand that unity of purpose, unity of living together. Our ethnic beliefs and background and culture is our strength.
Ever since the amalgamation period of 1914 to date, about 109 years ago, the people of Nigeria live very peacefully with one another.
I think diversity helps a lot to enhance robust development in Nigeria. All over the country, you have so many ethnic groups, over 250. That is enough to tell you that this is a blessed country, and that God has kept together as one indivisible entity.
On NCC Telecom Weekly, we bring you innovations, trends, policies and stakeholders, redefining all sectors of our economy today. Here, you'll see the actors, policymakers and creativity that will shape your mind and business for growth in line with today's reality. Join us every Friday, 5 p.m. on NTA Network and on radio, FRCN Network on Fridays, 8 p.m. NCC, connecting Nigeria.
Your skill is key to your professional growth in the competitive broadcast media industry. Take advantage of the following programs specially packaged by NTA Television College Jos to upgrade your skill. Marketing in the era of digital broadcast. Date 13th June to 23rd June 2023, 2 weeks. Drama Production Workshop. Date 3rd July to 21st July 2023, 3 weeks. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills. Date 24th July to 11th August 2023, 3 weeks. The course fee for the 2-week course is 120,000 naira, while the fee for the 3-week course is 150,000 naira only. accommodation inclusive. All courses will hold at NTA Television College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For further inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. NTA Television College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be. Registrar Announcer.
Thank you for staying with us. Following ongoing aggressive operations by the Nigerian military, troops eliminated 107 terrorists and arrested 394, while 74 abducted victims were rescued across the country in the last 2 weeks. Addressing newsmen during its bi-weekly briefing in Abuja, the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Damadami, says intensified clearance and patrols conducted by troops led to a huge success in neutralizing terrorists.
Troops neutralized 25 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists and recovered 7 AK-47 rifle, 3 training rifle, 1 AK-46 rifle, 2 K2 assault rifle, 1 MC rifle, 1 pump action gun, 2 double-barrel guns, 1 locally made pistol, 12 den guns, 1 locally made grenade, 12 AK-47 rifle magazine, 100 rounds of 7.76mm ammunition, 5 rounds of 12.7mm NATO ammunition.
In the South and Southeast regions, 128 criminals were apprehended while several illegal refining sites were deactivated.
In a related development, the air component Operation Delta Safe on 18th May 2023 conducted air interdiction operations at Karama village. The location was observed to be active with illegal refinery activities. Accordingly, the location was struck with several illegal refinery products and equipment destroyed in the air strike.
General Damadami added that military operations are ongoing in Benue State to address current challenges of herder-farmer conflicts. The Cross River State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal has held its second sitting on pre-hearing of the case between Senator Sunday Ono versus INEC and Senator Basi Otu, which focused on councils working with permissible limits to fast-track the conclusion of settings on record time. Paul Abel reports.
The Election Petition Tribunal sitting in the case between Senator Sunday Ono versus INEC and Senator Basi Otu brought both prosecution and defendant to agreement on the schedule of operations, which include time for witnesses to be entertained from both parties, and number of days to testify. Others are documents to be taken without objections, challenges experienced by councils in registry and services, and non-generation of remitter for payment. Lead counsels to both parties summarize the proceedings of the day and speak on their expectations.
The tribunal has also noted the new practice directions for this type of petitions, particularly in paragraph 5 of page 5, to the effect that no new interlocutory application written address shall exceed 10 pages and the reply 5 pages. So we have all agreed, and the tribunal has now ruled that everything that needed to be done must all be done before the next adjournment date.
So they requested that all applications should be reduced so that we also respond and with reduced replies within a given time frame, so that justice will be done.
The tribunal subsequently adjourned the hearing for the next sitting to 19th June 2023. In Calabar, Paul Abel.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed confidence in delivering a new Nigeria that citizens will be proud of, but population managers and experts say Having an accurate census data is of high necessity for the President and his new administration to actualize all pre-election and pre-inauguration talks, advising them on giving the census project top priority. What is the import and scientific implications of a national headcount to Nigeria, as well as a believable statistics for planning and development purposes? Oluseyi Adiagbo finds out answers to these questions.
Dealing with distribution of resources among a population that is as heterogeneous as Nigeria. Without data, you cannot govern objectively. Without data, you cannot rule scientifically. It's impossible.
It's been more than 17 years Nigeria last conducted a national head count, even as the country's population keeps increasing and currently estimated at more than 200 million, with projection by the United Nations the figure could double by 2050. The second quarter of 2023 was primed to deliver a first digital census, and the National Population Commission, the agency to lead the exercise, fixed it for May 3rd to 7th. Closing in to this date, former President Muhammadu Buhari approved the postponement of the exercise to a date to be determined by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration.
Yeah, census is important for everything we do, but I think we should do it in a climate that is conducive.
And I think the President Buhari did well to postpone it.
A professor of demography, University of Ibadan, Professor Oka Obono, frowns at the lack of believable data, as well as the implication of further delay of the exercise.
The apparatus for managing the census is already in place. They have trained people. They have purchased kits. They've gone that far. I think what the government needs to do is make sure that the technical elements in the census are okay. We can verify that and then send these people to the field this very year. Because if there's any further delay, it will cost more.
In separate interviews with these population managers, a new census data is no doubt long overdue.
I think they should continue the program and ensure that our census is done so that we know exactly how many we are.
Census has already started off. It's going on, and I can't see the government stopping it.
This census program is actually needed for development of our nation.
In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA.
The Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, has taken a step further to achieving its mandate of improving the quality of lives of people of its benefiting communities with the inauguration of Servicom officers to enhance effective service delivery. Fatima Ali reports.
Between the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and Servicom will facilitate the responsibility of HYPADEC in providing solutions to the ecological and socio-economic challenges faced by its benefiting communities due to activities of hydro dams. Since Servicom plays a vital role in turning around the narrative of service delivery in the country, the Commission deemed it necessary to establish and inaugurate Servicom officers to provide effective service in a transparent manner. The officers are therefore expected to develop service charter of the Commission and monitor its implementation. Managing Director of HYPADEC was represented at the event.
They should expect services that can serve. They should expect exactly what they are yearning for, because we have gone round and we know what they require to put them at enabling status.
We're working towards sustained and systematic intentional service improvements, and we're working to realize the essence of governance even through the office of HYPADEC for the people of Nigeria.
Servicom headquarters say it is poised to build skills that will deliver quality services in Mina. Fatima Aliu, NTA News.
Partnering with the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies towards promoting labor education in workplaces and across the country. This was made known when the Director General, National Institute for Labor Studies, visited NILDS in Abuja. John Yaku has that.
The National Institute for Labor Studies is an institute that carries out labor education aimed at building capacity of workers and unions for industrial harmony. Established 40 years ago in Ilorin, the institute seeks collaboration with needs to harmonize training of workers and those at the National Assembly.
Interestingly, I think your sector is also organized, is unionized. We have what you call a PASA, the Parliamentary Staff Association. One or two occasions I've seen them also going on, on strike. But it's important that we catch them young so that they know the procedures.
Director General of Needs did not hesitate to this, as he immediately constituted a technical committee to work out modalities for the partnership.
I think that's need for us to work together. There are a lot of areas of intercourse, and we shouldn't lose sight of that. I think I key into your aspirations, your prayer that we need to partner, identify areas of courtship.
Highlights of the visit was the conferment of the National Institute for Labour Fellowship of Professor Abubakar Suleiman and the Acting Director of Administration and Human Resources, Aminu Bello Duku, for their exemplary workers-friendly policy.
I so declare.
Within his first 100 days in office, you were all promoted. We can attest to the transformation you have brought back to this institute today.
It is part of the mandate of the Labour Institute to recognize chief executives who have distinguished themselves in promoting productivity. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
The Federal University of Transportation, Daura, Kaduna State, is expected to commence academic session before the end of 2023. This came to light during an inspection visit by National University Commission and Federal Ministry of Education as part of preparations for the university to take off. Hussein Suleiman reports.
The establishment of University of Transportation paved way for domestication of railway engineering and general transportation sciences in Nigeria. The visit is to supervise the available structures and facilities on ground.
I'm impressed, I'm happy with the quality of the work, with the facilities that are around. I can confidently say they can take off.
When we bring students to university, most of them will not be from this area, so at least there should be accommodation for them, and what we have seen is quite elating. And for the lecturers, we have what we call maybe transit accommodation for them, where they will be for the time being. It's quite beautiful, and I'm sure anybody that is housed there will actually feel at home.
That's why in this committee, we invited them, we include them in the committee, so that they will see what is on ground. So that by the time that what we call resource education visit, so that when we come for that visit, they are already aware of what is on ground, so that they can advise the university properly on what to be fixed and what to be added, and so that it can take off.
The delegation also visited the Emir of Doros Palace to intimate the royal father of their mission. From Daura in Kaduna State, Hussein Suleiman, NTA News.
An international collaboration between trade unions under the umbrella Public Service International, PSI, is seeking social protection for internally displaced persons. This was at the launch of a 5-year project, Unions Defending Human Rights, Climate Justice, and Quality Public Services for IDPs. Joseph Hossein has more.
Whether conflict or disaster, they are forcefully displaced from their homes and livelihood. Many of them are health workers.
Issues that also affect our members who are either working in the conflict areas or areas where they have flooding and they have been displaced, and now they find themselves at the internet displaced centers. So we really want them to continue offering services.
We can sort of provide other kind of expertise and also more sort of support in the idea of actually addressing the problem with the forcibly displaced persons.
The workshop is to build capacity of trade unions to take the lead at ensuring the IDPs, with large number belonging to the workforce, get adequate social protection.
Budgets are just flying in the air over what is being given to IDPs, but when we go to the grounds, we discover that these things are not true. these monies are passing into pockets. So we have to become like a watchdog.
What of our members, the workers who are exposed to danger of working in these areas? Could they not work out some benefits for them as an interventionist force, which they are?
Put together by the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives and the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria under the umbrella Public Service International. The drive is to build robust collaboration that will help the displaced not just survive difficult conditions, but also reintegrate into mainstream society. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Cancer patients under the National Health Insurance Act, NHIA, can now have better care with improved initiatives to meet their health needs. This was part of issues deliberated upon at a meeting with NHIA focal officers at MDAs. Elizabeth Omori brings us details of that meeting.
Lancet report on cancer in sub-Saharan Africa shows a major increase in cancer mortality from 520,348 in 2020 to about 1 million deaths per year by 2030. With this projection, there is an urgent need to curb the growing crisis in cancer mortality to reduce the burden of this disease and other ailments. The National Health Insurance Act is equipping focal persons, administrators, departments and agencies with requisite knowledge on the benefits of the scheme.
To improve the satisfaction of the perception of our enrollees. So we have decided to now say, okay, we'll brand them for NHS. So when you go, you see those drugs, you know where they are coming from, who is the manufacturer.
Dr. Comfort Adeosun from the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation urges civil servants to embrace the processes and take advantage of the scheme.
Whether you are retired or you're still in service, your coverage is going to do what? To be on a continuous basis. And those are the work that is going on.
The desk officers are expected to educate enrollees in their various MDAs on the reforms of the NHIA to reduce health burden. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Yobe state government is deepening commitment towards the attainment of universal health coverage with the establishment of 2 additional medical agencies to enhance emergency medical services and effective supervision in the health sector. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
Agencies are Yobe State Emergency Medical Ambulance Services (YEMABUS) and Yobe State Healthcare and Health-Related Facilities Inspection and Monitoring Agency (YOFIMA). The establishment of these agencies was in accordance with the national policy on emergency medical services aimed at providing prompt and coordinated emergency medical services to all citizens to minimize delays in access to emergency health care, to reduce morbidity, mortality and save lives.
This administration, since inception, has remained focused to provide effective and efficient healthcare service to all citizens.
Our target is to achieve universal health coverage that brings comprehensive quality healthcare within reach of our citizens, which we must actually rethink and refit it to the existing primary healthcare.
This strategic investment, stakeholders say, demonstrates the genuine commitment of Yobe State government in reforming the health sector to provide efficient and effective services to people in the state.
Yobe State Health and Health-Related Facilities Inspection and Monitoring Agency will work to ensure adequate clinical monitoring to enhance the quality of care consistent with state standards and guidelines.
Yobe is the first state in northern Nigeria to institutionalize emergency medical ambulance services as well as quality assurance and control. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Next is sports update.